Welcome to WNL Sports Weekly. I'm Jeremy Franklin. This week we'll speak with men's soccer coach Mike Singleton, women's cross-country captain Katy Bonaro, and football captain Micah. But first, a quick look back at the weekend in Washington and Lee athletics. Men's soccer won its third straight ODAC match, topping Bridgewater 2-0 at Watt Field. Field hockey also picked up a home victory, defeating Ferrum 6-0, and football fell 52-28 to Guilford in the conference opener for both teams in Greensboro. I'm joined now by men's soccer coach Mike Singleton. Mike, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Overall, how pleased have you been with the way your first year at WNL has gone so far?
I'm very happy with where we are right now. The guys have come in with a very open mind. Their work rate is phenomenal. They're great people to be around. They get along really well together, which is just a true testament to what Ralph Peranian has built up over the years. In each game, we've progressed and gotten better each step. And that's what I ask the players predominantly is make sure every game we take a step forward, we improve our play so we can be playing our best soccer at the end of October, beginning of November. And the last couple weeks, I think they've really started to put some of the dots together and really pick up what we've been trying to get across to them, and hopefully we can continue the trend and hopefully reach our goals come the end of the year.
You started off ODAC play with a pair of close losses, but now you've won 3 straight conference matches. What's been working well for Washington and Lee in these league games?
I think the last 3 games, the focus and intensity of the players has increased, and also the unity both offensively and defensively. We've tightened up our defense, being able to get 3 shutouts, which is a huge part of us being able to get 3 wins. And I think our team has sort of built from that steady foundation of the defense. So with Al Civertrees playing really well, our back line of Val Organ, Patrick Berry, Kerry Karabasi, and Mason Billings have really performed extremely well. And I think that's given our attack more confidence and comfort to really get out and attack in the way that we're hoping to. So hopefully we can keep up the positive trend, and coming into this weekend we play a top team from Lynchburg that's always nationally competitive, so hopefully we can build on these 3 wins and get another.
You were talking earlier about peaking in late October, early November, around the time of the ODAC tournament. How important is seeding for the conference playoffs, especially in terms of home field advantage?
Well, with our field, we're blessed. We have one of the nicest fields in the nation for Division III soccer. So having that field becomes a great advantage for us because it's a full-size field. The surface is just so beautiful. So having that as a home field advantage could be very important to us because it allows us to utilize our speed and to really utilize the tactics that we've built in, given that's our home field. When we play on other fields, sometimes they're thinner. They might be artificial turf fields as well, so that does affect the game. So given that we're so familiar with our own field, it could be a huge advantage for us, and particularly with strong home crowds and the fans who usually are pretty vocal here at WNL, that could help us a great deal too.
What are the keys to the general success over the last few weeks of the season?
I think we have to keep on building. We have to make sure that the mantra of getting better each game and every step is a continuing mantra that we hold true to our hearts. In the coming weeks, moving the ball a bit better offensively, attacking from all angles and communicating more, and just continue to build on the building blocks that we've set. And then, as is always a challenge here at WNL, making sure that we do well on midterms, but that doesn't take away from what we're doing on the field at the same time.
Mike, thanks for joining us here. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
With me now is Katy Bonaro, junior cross-country captain from Waldorf, Maryland. Katy, welcome to the show.
Thanks, it's great being here.
You've got a very young team and a new head coach. Given all of that, how do you view your role as one of the captains?
Yeah, we do have a very young team. Actually, 12 of our 16 runners are underclassmen and 6 are freshmen. So with that, along with the fact that we do have a new coach, I think a big role as captain for me, along with Lucy Ortiz and Casey McIntosh, is to really focus on maintaining communication and building trust, because with a whole bunch of new people, you're not going to get anywhere without those 2. So that's been a big thing that we're working on, and I think we've been doing a good job at it. Even before preseason, we really focused on contacting coach through email and phone call and trying to get to know him and his training technique, and also getting to know the freshmen over the summer, so that way once we got here we all knew a little bit about each other already, and that's been really helpful.
You've struggled with injury problems over the last 2 seasons. How challenging has it been for you to battle through that adversity?
Yeah, it's been tough. Battling through any injury is hard, and definitely since it's been over the past 2 years, that's also been difficult. I haven't run in regionals the 2 years that I've been here, so I'm really hoping to do that this season. I'm getting back into it. It's really hard to not be able to stay on the line and put a number on, but I think the biggest thing that's been helping me through is just maintaining a positive attitude and having my teammates around me. They've really been helpful. There are a couple other girls on the team also that have been battling injury, so working together with them and kind of amping up each other's attitudes is really the way to go.
Gettysburg Invitational on October 18th is the last regular season race for Washington and Lee. What are the team's objectives for that meet?
Well, this week we have a lot of tough workouts, so we're going to be a little bit banged up for Gettysburg. But it is a really competitive meet, so we are really hoping to just race the people around us and really focus on grouping up together, especially in the front. We're going to use this as practice for ODAX because we have really strong 3 front runners, and we're really trying to fill in the gap between 3 and 4 since the top 5 score. So that's something going to be one of our main goals for Gettysburg.
What can Washington and Lee accomplish in the postseason this year?
Well, last year at regionals we were 10th, and at ODAX we were 4th. So I think, well, for the preseason polls for ODAX we were ranked 3rd, and then for regionals we were ranked 4th. So I think based on those polls and based on how we all feel, we feel strong, and we think we have a really strong freshman class. And again, the 3 front runners are really strong. So I think with that and with the optimism of what the polls gave us, I think we're going to do really well, especially at regionals. We are really hoping to be in top 5, and since we were ranked 4th, I think we can do that.
Katie, thanks for joining us here. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, it's been great being here.
With me now is Micah Fleet, senior football captain from Cordova, Tennessee. Micah, welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot for having me.
What kind of positives can the team pull out of its first 4 games of 2014?
Well, you're going to think I'm crazy, and after an 0-4 start, I don't blame you. But there's a lot of positives that we can take from this season. Throughout the first 3 games, our defense was very, very strong. That's including after sustaining a terrible injury to Jake Barr, who's our defensive leader. He was our man in the middle. Kind of provided a swagger to the defense. I think you saw us rebound from that against center. Guilford was kind of a fluke game for our defense. I really thought, maybe some energy that needed to be pumped into that unit wasn't quite there. But for the offense, there's a bunch of good that you can take. I mean, we went from being almost non-existent on that side of the ball to Averett to last week against Guilford. We had our highest offensive output yet, 459 total yards. We were successful on the ground. We did great outside. We completed some passes, which is something that we had struggled to do a little earlier on in the year. So I think we're getting better on both sides of the ball, and the positives, tackling, yardage. We're seeing some production from young guys that we didn't think we'd have to see play this soon.
The Generals are very young at the skill positions in particular. You're one of 3 seniors who start on the offensive line. How important is the leadership of the guys up front, especially with so many first years and sophomores in the field?
Well, you're talking about those senior 3. You're talking about Battery Row. That's Sam Hoskins, that's Ryan McNally, and that's me. The middle 3 guys, seniors. Sam Hoskins played the first 3 games last year before he got hurt. Ryan McNally, a lot of experience stepping in again as a junior. I myself, I've played in I think 35 straight games. Sophomore Mike LaSalle at tackle, Randy Carlson, left tackle. These are guys that got a lot of experience early on. And so now when we go into a game, especially with the younger guys in the back end, like you're saying, who might be nervous, because the college game, it's just so much different from the high school game. For us to project that composure, to be able to get to the line of scrimmage, make our calls with conviction, and let everybody know that we know what we're doing, it gives a calm to the offense. It steadies a lot of younger players where maybe they don't have as much time to think and worry about what they're supposed to do. They can just free themselves up to play because they have 3 guys in the middle with myself, Sam, and Ryan that know what they're doing, have been there before. They'll pick guys up when they do something great, and they'll get after them if they do something wrong. It's that stability that you really need from your seniors, and I think we get that with our middle 3.
You're one of the sports directors for WLUR. You spend the off-season broadcasting WNL basketball and baseball. What's the experience like for you calling games that involve your fellow student athletes?
Co-sports director is right. I got to give a lot of thanks to our other sports director, Will Bartlett, who without him, our fall programming would be tough. You know, my schedule's really busy. He does a great job with that. As for calling games in the off season, it's probably my favorite thing I do. I love basketball. It's my favorite sport. I wish I was better at it. I probably would have tried to play it in college, but they don't like 6'3" power forwards. It's not something that they love to put on the floor. So I get to kind of live vicariously through the players. You know, when they have a big win, I feel like I'm a part of that win. When we suffer a tough loss, I feel like I'm a part of that loss. But I get to maintain objectivity up in the booth, see some talent for two different sports that I absolutely love. And baseball is something that was a passion of my dad's that got passed down to me. So for me to take part in both of those is phenomenal, and I really do think it's probably my favorite thing I do on campus.
What needs to happen for Washington and Lee to turn things around on the gridiron over the second half of the season?
When you look for a turnaround, for me, I pick out three things. I talk about points, I talk about turnovers, and I talk about big plays. I was talking with Coach Abel, and we're looking at this now like a 6-game season. The first 4 never happened. We have a 6-game season coming up, and for us to be successful in our 6-game season, we got to do 3 things. All right, we got to score 28 and above. We got to hold other teams to 21 and under. Okay, we have to win the turnover battle, which means not turning it over on special teams and offense and generating more turnovers on the defensive side of the ball. That's something that we haven't done throughout our first 4, and I think you're going to see us try to do a little bit more of that against Hampton-Sydney on Saturday. And then the third one that I'm talking about is big plays. We have to limit other teams to 3 or less big plays, and we have to get 4 or more. Now, what's a big play? I'm talking about something that gains 15 yards or above. So if we can hold someone to, nickel and dime us down the field on defense where we get a chance to make a stop, and when they throw the deep ball, maybe we generate a turnover. And then when we break one outside, if we can continue to block downfield and get some big gains, get our team fired up, I think that's going to lead to some success. So points, turnovers, big plays, those 3 things are what we have to do better.
Micah, thanks for joining us here. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
It's time now for a look at the upcoming weekend. The doubles team of Patricia Kirkland and Sonia Meehan will represent women's tennis at the ITA National Small College Championships in Sumter, South Carolina. Action begins on Thursday. It's Parents Weekend at Washington and Lee, which means a full slate of action in Lexington. Women's soccer battles ODAC rival Virginia Wesleyan, while football welcomes in preseason conference favorite Hampton-Sydney. Field hockey will meet Shenandoah, and men's soccer plays host to Lynchburg. Volleyball heads to Springfield, Ohio to face 5th-ranked Wittenberg. The Generals will also take on John Carroll. Men's and women's swimming begin their seasons against Center and Sewanee in Louisville. And the women's golf team travels to Florida for the Golf Week D3 Fall Invitational, which starts on Sunday. For WNL Sports Weekly, I'm Jeremy Franklin. Thanks for watching.